this? Oh, wow! This is genius! Let's do this, I guess. Hello and welcome. I am Lionmight. I'm a professional composer, music producer, and lifelong gamer. And for this video, we're gonna take a deep dive at the Scaramouche boss theme from Genshin Impact. Now, Genshin Impact is a game I love, and I've been playing it since 1.0. I am now what you call a high investment player. Whale. And Genshin Impact is an open world RPG with tons of playable characters, and I love all of the characters except one. And unfortunately, this is his boss theme. I'm talking, of course, about the character with many names, which you can actually also rename yourself. But he's known as the Balladeer, Wanderer, Scaramouche, and suffice to say, I named him an appropriate name for my taste. Again, fictional characters, so you can feel whatever you like for them. If you saw my reaction video to that Nod Cry teaser, a lot of you pointed out how my facial expression changed immediately when Wanderer came on screen and was like, yeah, there's no hiding it now. My facial expression is just an open book in that video, so yeah. And I know a lot of you asked for this musical reaction, this musical analysis to the Scaramouche boss theme because it is a banger. Thanks to Yu-Peng Chen, the composer. He's the one responsible for making it a banger. And I always hear this a lot in the game, especially when I'm farming for boss materials from Wanderer, his boss form. But as always with any video game music, it's covered with voice lines, sound effects from skills, and other environmental noises that kind of drowns out the music and gives you an immersive experience for gameplay. But it's always never a fully musical-only experience, which is why I do these musical reaction videos, to kind of take a closer look on the musical artistry of video game music. But you know what? Before we dive deep into the music, I feel like I need to do something. I don't know, it's just instinct. Oh yeah, let's beat up Wanderer. Let's beat up this emo boy edgelord who thinks he's a god. See, not even 5 or 6 seconds to appreciate Phase 1's music. Everything gets buried by his voice lines, the cringe voice lines, and sound effects and all that. That's why I do these music reaction and analysis videos, because there's value to be had by experiencing the music outside of the game. Die! 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 5 million damage! Again! 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 Didn't even get to use her burst. That was cathartic. Now let's listen to music. Thanks to YouTuber Yoon, for putting all the phases together, because in the soundtrack, it is divided into 2 major pieces. But, you know, as the boss fight goes on, there's multiple phases during the fight, and the music changes with the phases. And there are 2 major phases, and in this video, it's both combined. So yeah, let's go check that out. This is a 9-minute long video. Probably some of them will be repeating, but it doesn't matter. Let's go. Atmospheric strings. Yeah, he's making his evil speeches here. Oh, tritones. Oh my goodness. Is that a bass clarinet? Such a lovely sound. All the gritty bowed strings. So dramatic, so Bond villain-esque, which is fitting, by the way. Whoa, that is so theatrically dramatic. Wow, this is beautiful. Long, dragged out, low notes, but it's the shaker or the hi-hat that's carrying the rhythm. Boom. Boisterous horns, let's go. Oh my goodness. Now it makes total sense musically. It's a syncopated kick drum doing triplets. Oh my goodness. There you go. Yeah, this part, I always hear this part in the game. But the rest of the details, I'm appreciating it now. Look at those strings. Dramatic. Oh my goodness. The synthetic and the electronic and the orchestral and the organic. Such a good combination. And it makes so much sense, lore-wise, you know? They're trying to meld organic magical powers with technological powers. Oh my goodness. Unison is powerful. The horn and the voice. I'm doing a trombone motion, of course. Satisfying. I think this is phase 2 already. Wow. This is kind of like Daft Punk-esque. Whoa. Really honing in on the electronica. La, da, da. Devilish interval. Wow. Synth church organ? Yeah, it gives it even more diabolical vibes. There's almost no orchestral elements for this one. Those overtones. Nice touch. Ah, this is phase 2. Oh my goodness. That melody is consistent. Wow. I'm now appreciating the totality of the music. No annoying cringe voice lines, please. Any wanderer means, you know, this is all for fun. Or is it? It's interesting, the vocal soloist is kind of mixed with a electronic warping chorus. Oh! My goodness! Oh, wow! This is genius! Shakuhachi representing his Inazuman roots. Oh my goodness! That is... wow! I just put two and two together now. Oh, this is the part that I always remember. This is a classical sequence, circle of fifths. Oh, so that line is part of the composition. Whoa! Synth bass, look at the synth bass. Love this so much. Thank you, Yu-Peng Chen. Oh. Oh my goodness. James Bond? No, Jason Bourne style. There it goes again. Oh my goodness. Electronica Inazuma. Oh wow. He's remembering. Oh my goodness. This is so haunting. This is almost like Gregorian chants. Yeah, classical, very classical sounding sequence. Wow! Satisfying pause. Wow. I would say that is kind of like semi-operatic, semi-programmatic music. Wow. Before we do a deep dive, let me just give my initial impressions now that I've finally listened to it. I've been waiting for this moment, by the way, to be filmed while listening to the Scaramouche boss theme, all of it, in one go outside of the game. Because, oh my goodness, I know that a lot of you love this theme. And now I understand why. I think this is what you would call a hybrid cantata, which is an epic chorale style of composition. But it's also kind of program music. Kind of. It's not exactly operatic because it's not like following a fixed narrative. So maybe it's semi-program music, but because it has multiple phases, just like a concerto, which has usually 3 movements. So it's kind of interesting. Now I'm realizing that multi-phased boss fights with interactive changing music are kind of like mini concertos or mini program music by design because of, you know, the multi-phase changes. But yeah, oh my goodness. Where to begin? I guess we start from the very beginning. I'm gonna skim through my favorite parts. Yeah, this is a nice, typical Genshin impact, starting small and then building up to epic heights. Yu-Peng Chen is a genius composer. He's, I think, the first video game music composer who got a record contract with Deutsche Grammophon, which is one of the most prestigious classical music labels. Yeah, I think this is the one that I was explaining earlier. I love hi-hats and shakers because so much power they wield with just a teeny tiny sound, especially those egg shakers. They hold so much rhythmic power. They influence so much of the movement by just being a tiny presence. Because, for example, listen to this. It's just whole notes. Boom. Almost no movement in the brasses and the low strings. But you can feel there's motion because of that tiny hi-hat sound. It's just amazing how such a small, minuscule presence influences so much of the rhythmic movement. See? It's the one bringing the motion to the music. Lum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum. Darth Vader. And now the triplets of the cellos start to come in only now, but the hi-hat has already set the motion. Dun, 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 dun. That is such a great way to introduce this leitmotif. A wall of strings. Oh my goodness, this is interesting. This is done. Third, fourth, 1, 2, 3, 4. The triplets are being done by the hi-hat, but it's mostly a wide 4/4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Done. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Oh my goodness, but it's still, you don't obviously kind of feel it, but it's still doing 1, 2, 3, 4. But everyone is doing syncopated parts out of the downbeat. So it feels like kind of like a beautiful disjointed wall of sound. It's interlocking, of course, and it's being sewn together by that lovely kick drum, syncopated kick drum. Dug, 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 dug. It now sounds like 4/4, but no, it's still same beater as. It's still the same meter as the previously. It's still 4/4, but everyone is syncopated. Yeah, it's just interesting. See? It's 1, 2, 3, 4. It's still that same long 4/4. Such a good syncopation. Yeah, that's interesting. And then I didn't realize that there's this vocal soloist. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is the voice actor for Wanderer, or maybe it's Yu-Peng Chen himself. Interesting mix right here with the solo vocalist because it's mixed with some warping, some flange effect, some high-intensity chorus effect. So it gives it this kind of warbling, warping effect, which is very fitting for a robotic-esque character. Yeah, epic. And then I think another favorite part of mine, somewhere in phase 2. Oh, this is still phase 1. Yeah, I do love the beautiful melding of the synthetic and the organic. The synthetic, of course, represented by all those electronic sounds, especially the kick and the synth bass and all those synth leads, all those beautiful arpeggios, and the synthetic being accompanied or accompanying each other by the organic sounds of the string orchestra, the brasses, the woodwinds, and of course later the shakuhachi, which is, oh my goodness, what a genius musical and lore insert. Phase 2. Faster tempo now. The stakes are higher. That's a beautiful and simple leitmotif. It's just 5 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that, brings you the entirety of the piece. I mean, a lot of masterpieces in composition just starts with 2 notes, 3 notes, 4 notes. I think the most iconic, classical composition, that is pretty much a 4-note melody. Da-da-da-dun. And the whole piece is constructed from that 4-note idea. This is no different. And everything else in between is just to support the appearance of those leitmotifs. To make you anticipate it or make you excited when it reappears again. I love this part. Shakuhachi, Japanese traditional flute, lots of bendy sounds, very emotional sounding. And now melody being done on the violin. Oh my goodness. Vocals. This sounds so Baroque classical. I love this part. Yeah, that kind of passage right there. That is a sequence. In Baroque music especially, it is a tool or a musical device when the composer wants to lead you to another key, but kind of leads you to it in a natural, organic way instead of just abruptly changing the key of the music, which is effective sometimes, especially in modern pop music. But, a sequence is kind of an elegant and organic way to do a key change. A lot of Bach pieces, classical pieces, has a lot of those sequence sections where it's leading you back to the original key or leading you to another key. It's a play on the circle of fifths. Yeah, this sounds more like a conventional epic chorale, epic cantata. Not very different from something like Carmina Burana from Karl Orff or any of the more heavy choral works of Wagner. There it is again. I think I'm looking for that vocal solo. Oh, here we go. So it starts from the shakuhachi. I love this. So listen to this. I've done this kind of compositional or arrangement technique a lot of times, especially in my more instrumental pieces. Listen to what's happening here. It's a slow chorale style piece in the background. Da, da, da. Da, 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 da. If you remove the rhythms, if you remove the synth drums, it's pretty much a hymn, a hymnal or an anthem that is meant to be a slow, mellow tempo. And sometimes you would hear that in a more somber or sadder chorale pieces. Maybe it's meant to be sung in a funeral or a solemn mass. Those kinds of slow tempo pieces. But of course, in a boss fight, you can't have just that. it will kind of drag down the energy of the fight and the music. So, I love when you can have the opportunity to put a absolute contrast of energy from that slow hymn style chorale or that hymn style orchestration and put high energy synth drums. So it's a really nice opposite energy kind of effect. We have here this high octane, energetic beat, synth bass, and all the arpeggios. And on the other side, we have this mellow chorale. I just love that kind of forced contrast, but artistic contrast. Oh my goodness, those synth bass. Oh, wow. See, this is one aspect of composition, anticipation. The importance of anticipation. The anticipation of the payoff. So, the harmony, the circle of fifths, all those chord progressions, those are just, there's this concept of home, traveling, and going back home. In the context of chord progressions, you have the root chord, usually C major in C major key, and then you go to the F and G, tonic, dominant, and subdominant, and then usually there's a emotional and musical kind of a resolution to go back to the home key. And that is pretty much what music is. It's a series of tense moments, all leading you back home. Of course, there are some instances where the music is meant to leave you hanging, so it doesn't go back home. It doesn't go back to the home key. And that is pretty much the basic principle of tonal music and the anticipation of going back home. In another kind of situation where we're talking about leitmotifs, for example, ta-da-da-dan, it starts feeding you this leitmotif and it repeats the leitmotif so much that you remember it. It becomes ingrained in your memory, in your emotion, that it's programming you to recall these leitmotifs, these melodies. And then the composer will purposefully lead you away from that, do some in-between transitions, some melody B that is not as interesting as the main melody sometimes. And it's all to prepare for you to go back to the home leitmotif. In this regard, for example, the vocal solo, the instrumentals in between, and the vocal sequence, it's all just a ploy, pretty much. The cat's out of the bag. It's all just a ploy to lead you back to that satisfying leitmotif, especially that big ending. So listen to this, right? Texture. All texture. It's all notes that are super active. And there's less recall compared to the main leitmotif. These are all atmospheres. It's now slowly raising the bar, raising the stakes, raising the energy. Sequence. Leading you away. Prepare. Preparation. Oh my goodness, yeah. Everything in between is just a preparation for you to be satisfied again once that big leitmotif returns. Oh my goodness. Textural ending, big atmosphere, larger than life, big, huge robot. Kind of like a kaiju, dun, dun, Godzilla is attacking the city again. Oh my goodness, yeah. I hope I made sense. But yeah, that's one style of composition in which the composer drip feeds you this super memorable melody, this super tiny melody or micro melody. And then it takes it away from you. That's so mean. It takes away that nice melody that you remember and you're now familiar with, only to give it back to you, but with much preparation. And that's the beauty of composition. It's you're making people, you're pretty much manipulating their emotions, their expectations. And if you don't fulfill that expectation by not giving a huge payout with that return to the main melody, maybe you're intentionally leaving them hanging because maybe that's integral to a storytelling context. But if we're just talking about pure musical composition in a linear way where there's a introduction, transitions, preparation, and then a big payoff in the end or in the middle, whichever, then that is usually how we composers manipulate you. Yes, cat's out of the bag. But oh my goodness. Yeah, Yu-Peng Chen, total genius as always. And yeah, I'm so glad that I finally found the time to have a deep dive on this amazing series of themes. The Scaramouche boss theme. Scaramouche the Prodigal. Yeah. Whew. Totally worth it. And if you're still watching until this part of the video, you are a total champ, unlike Wanderer. Thank you so much for your company. And if you still want me to check out some other video game music, I have a content suggestion form in the video description. Please use that. And in the meantime, I'll see you in the next video. Bye. If I would lose to a different 5-star, let it be not Wanderer. Oh my goodness. You know that I hate Wanderer. My least favorite character ever in Genshin. I never pulled for him. I will never pull for him. Not on purpose, at least. So, if for some ultimate bad luck, I get him for this pull, just know that you're witnessing my nightmare. Let's go get Nilu! Blast off. Candice. Already got her C6. Oh! Here we go! Here we go! Oh my goodness, please. Let this be the one. I can accept losing to Alhaitham or Dia again for Masterless Stella Fortune.
You want me to introduce myself? I've gone by many names and titles during my journey.